What's up, Sooner Nation? I am Casey Mallon, and you are now, come on, in a Sooner state of mind. Make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcast and Spotify. BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. BetOnline has every stat, every matchup, and even live odds and spreads to bet on during the games. Think you know your stuff? Get in on our $200,000 mega contest and pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance at weekly prizes and a share of $200K. When the game's over, head on over to our online casino and get in on a game of blackjack or poker or unwind with one of our over 150 slots games. Head to the website today to get in on the action. Bet online, the game starts here. On today's show, not much heavy lifting, just going to recap OU's 51-3 win over the Temple Owls under the Friday night lights. Sooner Nation, what is good? Don't tell me this town ain't got no heart. You just got to poke around. You know what I am saying? Oh, we're going to do things a little different with the Sooners playing on Friday. We're going to go ahead and get it going on Saturday. Last night, OU host Temple, and the game went pretty much exactly how we thought it would. Total Sooner domination, 51-3. Look good, feel good, play good. Temple did have some pretty sweet-looking uniforms, so they had that going for them. And not as sweet as seeing that SEC logo on our jerseys and on the field. Pretty awesome. It was rocking last night. Lots of good Friday night vibes in the air. Sooners opened the game on defense and on Temple's first drive. A couple plays to be had there, but Brock fired wide and high. So after a quick 3 and out, new look Sooners offense didn't waste any time. Opening drive, highlighted by a 47-yard pass to Jaleel Farouk from Jackson Arnold. We'll get into Farouk a little bit later. All kinds of trash around Arnold's legs on that throw, though. He showed off the arm strength, fought through that hit, and put it right on Farouk. 5 plays later, Jackson Arnold to Bauer sharp, touchdown Sooners. And this was a sweet touch pass. Dropped it in right over the defender. And just like that, 7-0. And, we had heard all spring about Sharp. Well, on Friday night, I guess we saw a little of the reasons why we had heard so much about him. It looks like he is going to be a huge part of this offense. Today's episode, LaCroix, lime flavored in the house. Sponsorship options, LaCroix, if you're listening, we're listening. Ensuing Temple possession after the Sooners march down there and get a touchdown. Effort. Motor. Ethan Downs, just a great hustle play. He chases down the quarterback, swipes at the ball, knocks it loose. Deion Terry recovers. That would be one of 6 turnovers forced by the Sooners on defense. They were active. They were getting that ball. They were knocking it loose. They were taking it away from those Owls. 5 plays later, it was the other guy making all the noise in spring ball, Deion Burks. Arnold to Burks for a 14-yard touchdown. That was one of 3 Burks TD receptions on the day. And dude looks fast and shifty. And we're only about 8 minutes into this thing, and it's already slipping away for the Owls. It's slipping away. Sooners up 14-0. Go ahead and tack on a Connie Walker. Interception off a sick play by Kendall. If it feels scary, it's because the potential is scary. Dolby. And after the first quarter, Sooners up 17-0. Kind of put it on cruise control after that. Second quarter, more of the same. 4 Sooners offensive possessions, 3 scores. 2 more Deion Burks touchdown receptions. And if you're counting them up on the day, Burks was 6 for 36 and 3 touchdowns, a hat trick in his OU debut. not too shabby, building off of what we saw in the spring game. That's going to be a good combo. Third quarter, kind of a clunker offensively anyways for the Sooners. They only managed a field goal, but defense held it down. Billy Bowman with what was almost one of the sickest INTs you will ever see. Totally jumps over the defender, grabs that ball. He's flipping upside down. Looked to me like he had possession. The ground caused the ball to pop out there. I'm not sure if the foot was on the ground ever before that. Just a sick individual play by Bowman. Could have been an INT if he could have just held on. Like I said, not sure if his feet ever hit the ground, but what an awesome play. Either way, he breaks it up. The Owls do make the Sooners pay for that drop, though. A 49-yard field goal. And that would be all the scoring the Owls could get their grubby little talons on. Fourth quarter, Sooners forced a punt, kicking it downfield, and a big-time hit by Lewis Carter. He forces a fumble. Jared Koenig scoops it up, returns it 21 yards for a touchdown. I just want to take a minute to recognize a team guy like Koenig. Was going to go to Clemson, wanted to follow BV to OU. BV said no on your commitment. Koenig went ahead and came to OU because he wanted to be around this coaching staff. And now Koenig, as of now, he's been passed up on the depth chart to the complete sickness and riches of athleticism the Sooners have at that position on defense. Even so, Koenig doesn't pout. He goes about his job playing, doing what he can, finding a way to contribute, and he makes a huge play. And those are the cats that BV is filling this roster with. Guys that are buying in, want to be part of it no matter what their role is. Of course, they want more playing time, but they want to be a part of this, and they're just ready when their number is called. Stoked for Koenig. I think he's going to continue to find a way to contribute to this team in whatever way possible. And he got in at the end of the game, too, because of the way the game went. But he'll be an integral part of this team, and we'll see him make plays throughout. Fourth quarter, we also got to see a lot of the young bloods. Michael Hawkins, he got a few possessions, had a sweet run. It was called back due to a holding penalty, but we got a little taste of what this guy can do, and he is going to be a problem back there. I would not doubt if we see some packages for Hawkins in this offense, not only just coming in to clean some games up if they're out of control, but actually designs to get in some games when it actually means something. And even with that holding penalty, still capped the scoring with a 9-play, 85-yard scoring drive, culminating with a touchdown by another young stud, Taylor Tatum. Showed off a bit of what has everyone so excited around the program. A little option play. Tatum goes untouched on an 8-yard touchdown run, pushing the score to 51-3. Throwing a couple of sacks by Marcus Strong, and that's a wrap, playa. Sooners dominate start to finish and roll to the first win in the SEC, where it just means more. It just means more, people. I do have a few more thoughts on the game. Temple defenders talking a lot of crap for a team getting blowed out. Even late in that game, I saw those cats, John, holding up the hand on fourth down. It's like, I guess they're keeping enthusiasm. I guess you want that on your team, but it's like, hold up, look at the scoreboard up there. So they were definitely chirping. But that defense played pretty well. And you can't say that they played better than the score when it's 51-3, but I thought that defense actually did okay considering the offense gave up 6 turnovers. Offense had only 197 yards of total offense. And speaking of offense, the Owls, offensive possessions, punt, fumble, punt, int, fumble, punt, fumble, punt, field goal, punt, fumble, int. Not counting the 2 drives to run out the first half and the end of the game. Rushing 36 carries for the Owls, 69 yards. Do the math, people. That's 1.9 per carry. Absolutely crushed them up front. They had no chance. Quarterback Brock, 12 of 25, 128, 2 interceptions. About what we expected from that roster against this defense. He battled. He hung in there tough, but and missed some throws early. We talked about that, but there was just not a lot there for him, especially when they got behind the chains. It was lights out. 4 for 13 on third down for the Temple Owls. Not great, but shockingly, the Sooners were actually worse on third down. OU was 1 for 12. Not good. That's something they're going to have to fix moving forward. Sooners, though, ultra aggressive on fourth down. They were 3 for 3 on fourth down. That's pretty good, and especially went for it a couple times on our side of the field. And just like we're taking this game over, we're not worried about what's going to happen. I guess it's easier to play with house money when you're not worried about what's happening. Nonetheless, an aggressive approach, and I like it. JFA in his first home start, 17 to 25, 141 yards. Yeah, those aren't great numbers. 4 touchdowns, I like. 0 interceptions, I like. 0 fumbles, I also like. Only went deep a couple of times. Didn't really have to push the ball downfield. He did have one that went right through Hester's hands. It was like perfect pass. But BV said that was by design. They kept everything kind of close to the line of scrimmage. Didn't want to show off too much. Didn't really let the speed on the outside get there, Thompson and such. So that's okay. Also, Sooners were out without Nick Anderson in this game. And then losing Jaleel Farouk, which is a total bummer. Dude just coming back from injury. BV said he has a broken foot and will be out 6 to 8 weeks. Hopefully it's within that time frame, maybe the 6 weeks, but even 8 would be fine. That would get him back in time to get his legs about him and hopefully make a postseason push for these Sooners. We saw a little bit of Andrell Anthony, which was good to see him out, and they didn't put too much on his plate, but let him get back into the offense and slowly ramp things up. We're going to need him now, especially with Farouk out. So letting him get reacclimated to the game, I thought was pretty good. But Deion Burks, there to pick up the slack, baby. We are going to hear a lot of Arnold to Burks. Trust that. We saw pieces of that on Friday night. The dude can get open in a phone booth. They're building that chemistry. He's lightning quick. And that was, like I said, without Nick Anderson out there. So that relationship will evolve. And then when Nick gets back in there, that's going to add a whole nother element. So that's exciting. And that is going to be a big problem for opposing teams moving forward. Bauer Sharp looks like he is going to be a big part of this offense too. Got him involved early. He's going to be that go-to guy when we need a big target on third down in the red zone too. We mentioned how sweet that pass was. Jackson Arnold right over that defender to Sharp. Sharp had a great day, 5 or 6 catches, including the score. And we are going to need that to be a part of the passing game. So that's good news. And hopefully Anderson's injury doesn't keep him out too much longer. Hopefully that was mostly precautionary. Might not need him next week either, but down the road, we are definitely going to. So more on the offense in the backfield, specifically at running back, Javonte Barnes. I thought he looked great. He looked very explosive, very limited opportunities. They kind of churned through everybody there, giving everybody a handful of carries, but I thought he looked special. He looked fast and explosive and shifty. I definitely want to see more of that. Sam Franklin, baby. Woo, the transfer. He looked fast as well. Sawchuk didn't show a whole lot. There wasn't a lot there for him. It is probably going to be a rotation of these guys, but who got me stoked most last night was Javonte Barnes. But I'm always full of stoke. I had plenty of stoke to lend to Taylor Tatum, the rookie the freshman. He led all Sooner backs, only 5 carries, but 69 yards and a touchdown. And we saw a little bit what's got everybody so excited about him too. So we didn't even get Hicks back there or Robinson. So plenty of backs. Going to have to narrow it down a little bit, but that means opportunity. So who's going to step up? I liked what I saw out of those guys. So I want more of that. But, that being said, sometimes I wish this team would just line up and run the rock straight down the other team's throats. Give me a little I formation and go. Give me a fullback, whatever. But just, you don't see it a ton in today's college game, but sometimes I would like to see, you know what? We're going to run and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. But either way, the run game was pretty effective. 36 carries, 220 yards. The touchdown by Tatum, that's over 6 yards a carry. Jackson Arnold, 11 carries too. He had a couple of nice runs. So did Hawkins. That's going to be a part of this offense too. Everybody's like, 11 carries too much for Jackson Arnold. You don't want to limit something that he does so well. It's a big part of his game. It's what makes him so dangerous. Hawkins does that as well. So that's going to continue to be a part of the offense. And of course, you don't want your quarterback to get hurt, but you don't want to limit what they can do to make the team go. So that being said, I didn't like all the hits Arnold took. I don't mind those run calls. That's fine. He is, super athletic, and that's a part. I don't need those hits in the pocket. He got blasted back there a lot, stood in there tough, made some big-time throws, but that was Temple out there. We're not even getting to the beef of the schedule. So that is a little concerning. We got to clean that up. We don't want to lose JFA to a hit back there. Speaking of getting that offensive line cleaned up, we lost Branson Hickman in the first quarter of the game. Sooners had 3 different centers play. Bates came in late and got some good quality reps. I'm a little bit worried about that Hickman injury. He was in the boot after the game. I guess it's an ankle. They haven't said how long he's going to be out, if any time. Maybe the boot was precautionary, but it didn't look good when it happened. So let's hope for the best there. I didn't even notice the in-helmet communication other than the green dot that was on Jackson Arnold's helmet. It looked like they were still getting the calls from the sideline. I'm sure that process will evolve, and I'm sure Seth was in there talking some, but it looked like the old standard to the sidelines. You get your call and go from there. But that was the first game with it, so it will be an evolution. We saw the first 2-minute warning in OU football history. I think it's fine. You're selling some ad space there for all the advertisers. Last 2 minutes in college obviously works a little different than in the pros, stop with the clock to move the chains, but I think it's fine. We'll keep it in there. It's all good. Did see the tablets on the sideline. I think that's going to be hugely beneficial to the teams. Why not embrace and utilize technology, right? That's fine. Special teams were much better in this game. If you count the touchdown by Jaron Kanik on the return there, or, on the punt coverage. Field goal kicker looks to be sorted out. Tyler Keltner, 3 for 3, including a 50-yard field goal. Boy, it'd be nice to have some confidence in this dude, because there is going to be at least one game, possibly more, that come down to a last-second field goal. And if what we saw last night was any indication of what's to come, we got it pretty dialed in there. So that was nice to see. Offense, I thought, for a game where there's 51 points, was very hit and miss. Now, partially that is due to the match unit up front. Not a lot of cohesion. It didn't help losing Branson Hickman, sprained ankle. Like I said, he was in a walking boot. Hopefully we can, though, get a healthy starting 5 and get them some time to gel, get that cohesion. We are going to need that as the schedule gets a little bit tougher, and I think that was a concern that everybody had. But let's get everybody healthy first and then see where we're at. It's hard to judge it when we're missing players due to injury. Get the players in there, and then we can judge them on that. But you know what? I trust Bill Beatembo. He's the best in the biz. get some health going, and I think the O-line will continue to evolve. So, but I can't say that I am not worried about it a little bit right now, especially with the injuries, especially if Branson's injury turns to be a little bit longer. So hopefully we can get everybody back and healthy and move forward. Stat. We got to do that quickly. Defensively, I don't think Temple even crossed midfield until the second quarter. And I don't know that they crossed midfield more than 2 or 3 times the entire game. Defense was phenomenal. As a team, 9 TFLs and 6 sacks. And the defense had all kinds of players that were flashing in that game. Danny Stutzman led the team in tackles. Of course he did. That's all this guy does. And I don't even know how much he played. Might have been out there at halftime. Ethan Downs, super active. This guy makes hustle plays left and right. We saw it with the forced fumble there, chasing down a play, getting downfield, making that happen. This guy's got a nonstop motor, and what an asset to this team. Grayson Halton. This cat was a super stud in the game on Friday night. Physical, violent. I loved everything I saw out of him. R. Mason Thomas, Marcus Strong, Billy Bowman, as always. Just great individual effort, great team effort all around on the defense. Defensive secondary was lights out too. And a ton of young guys got into the game as well. 27 different players with at least 1 tackle in the game. Tremendous. Billy Bowman holds on to that interception. It's 7 turnovers and a shutout. Nonetheless, we got to be stoked with what we saw out of the defense. It's going to be a lot tougher down the road, even next week, potentially. So it has to get better. But, I mean, we're nitpicking here, people. They came out and dominated a game and never let up. 6 sacks, 6 turnovers, 9 TFLs, less than 200 total yards, no touchdowns. Come on. That's pretty damn good. Overall, pretty stoked. Still levels of stokedness that can rise. But, hey, got to watch our Sooners on Friday night, and they came out and did everything that was expected of them. Now, this team will continue to improve and will look a lot different a few weeks from now. And as I'm doing the show right now, I've been watching Tennessee put an absolute beat down on Chattanooga. It's only Chattanooga, but still, the Vols look pretty damn good. It's already 45-0 in the first half, and that offense looks explosive. So we got those cats coming to town in just a few short weeks, so we got to get some stuff together. You know who else looked good? Colorado. Decent football-wise, not a great team, but those uniforms were completely awesome. The lines of the mountain ranges on the sleeve and the gold numbers and the face mask, all of it, completely awesome. They did get a huge win. Everybody, don't sleep on Celtics, blah, blah, blah. But the elevated fashion level, I'm all about it. Yeah, I'm a uniform nerd. So what? Big deal. Come at me, bro. Speaking of completely awesome, Travis Hunter. This cat is a sick freak. Dude already had one of the best catches that you're going to see all year. It's getting tackled to the ground. One-hander, brings it in, touchdown for the Buffs. Not only that, dude played almost every play. I don't know if he came off at all. Not only on offense, on defense. Tremendous player. Watch Colorado every chance you get to watch just for him. And, Hunter is just printing cash leading up to next year's NFL draft. It's going to be pretty sweet to see what happens with that dude. Speaking of the Big 12, Utah and Kansas both looked good in their openers. Utah, I like them. I like them a lot. And former Sooner and current Golden Gopher, Minnesota Golden Gopher, don't you know, Marcus Major, Good game, except for the ending part. If you cut that thing off at, 59 minutes, Gophers are stoked. But it was a brutal last-second loss to Mac Brown and his North Carolina Tar Heels. They won the game, but they lost their starting quarterback, Max Johnson, for the year with a broken leg. Total bummer. You hate to see these injuries, especially early in the season. You'd hate to see them anytime, but it just sucks because they changed the layout of your team. That's why you got to have that depth. You got to have the players there. It's a big emphasis on recruiting and the portal. We're about to ramp up our activity as we're rounding into season form. We're going to be back in just a few short days to recap all the sweet action that is still ahead of us for this week one. Got some great games coming later on Saturday night and on Sunday, and even a little extra on Monday. So when we come back to preview the Houston game, we will take a look at the rest of the week one games. And I mentioned those Houston Cougs. And next week, the Sooners set to debut the Wilkinson-era throwback uniforms. Oh, baby, I am stoked for that. And I am stoked for this season of Oklahoma Sooner football. And if you're stoked like I am, that's why you're my peeps. So make sure you like and subscribe on Apple Podcasts and Spotify so you don't miss anything. It comes right to your listening device. People, it is so easy. Also, head on over to Believe.com. That's BLEAV.com. Go to shows, type in Sooner State of Mind, and you are locked. We have a ton of great content, people. No matter who you love, it's every team, it's every topic, it is everywhere. Believe.com. And if you want to watch Sooner State of Mind, if you're watching right now, hello, nice to see you. Leave us a comment, give us a nice rating. But if you're not watching yet, head on over to YouTube and search the Football Dudes. We are there. Sooner State of Mind is brought to you by Bet Online. My name is Casey Mallon, and I am in a Sooner state of mind. Oh, yeah.